Hi everyone, Susan here from Sue's Art. Today I'm going to do a ring pour. This is part of my 5 and 5 series. That's 5 different fluid art techniques using 5 colours, but all using the same pouring medium, which is the one that I make myself. So the colours that I'm using today, which I've pre-mixed, I do have a video on my paint mixing that you can look at. I have my white, I have my navy blue, just to show you the thickness. So a ring pour, I use a slightly thicker mix, so when you let the paint drip back in, it leaves a trace for about a second or so before it sinks back in. I've got my iridescent green yellow, which is my favourite colour. I have my turquoise and I have my gold. So the first thing I'm going to do is layer my cup. So I'm going to use a paper cup. That gives me the opportunity to sort of pinch a pouring nozzle. Let's start layering away. Now, the important thing to remember when layering your cup is the paint that you put in first is what comes out last. Okay, I've got 2 layers of each colour. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a little bit of paint on the surface first. This will just help the ring pour spread out when I tip it onto the canvas, and sort of help with the composition, because if you put it straight onto a dry canvas, it has a tendency to sort of roll over itself. I'll take these to the corners as well. This is just my normal mixed paint with a little bit of additional pouring medium in it just to thin it out a bit. Okay. So here's my cup. I'm going to pinch this edge here to make the spout, and I'm going to keep it quite close to the canvas because I want quite tight little rings on this one. Let's see how we go. The further you get into the cup, the more blending of the paint that you get. That is just one of the hazards that you get with fluid art. All right, just get my skewer. Okay, get the blowtorch, pop some bubbles. I might just try and centre this a little bit better before I start spinning her out. Okay, let's give it a spin. It looks like I'm going to lose quite a lot of my gold. Well, this is interesting, but I don't love the composition. I think there's too much white. I'm just cleaning up my corners here. So what I think I might do is I might load the cup up again, and I might do a pour over the top. This is not quite the look that I was going for, although it is interesting. But not enough gold and too much white. So let's make sure we don't put quite so much white in it in each layer. Now, given that the canvas is now flooded with paint, I won't need as much paint in my next cup. Okay, let's do a take two on this. All right. It looks like we might have a lump of paint in here. All right. Yeah, this is looking more like what I was after. You can see all of that previous white has really been pushed out to the edges now. I do like this composition, but I am going to have to keep spinning because there's still a fair bit of paint on the surface. And the last thing that we want is for it to crack when it dries. Gosh, I think we're getting quite close now. Still a little bit of movement. I think we'll call that done. So I'm just going to clean up the underside. What you don't want to do is have the weight of the paint on the edges continue to pull your painting off the edge and upset your composition. So in any of these fluid art techniques, always scrape the paint off the bottom edge. In my workshops, I get participants to use push pins on the underside, so you can really access that quite easily. I'm using baking drying racks at the moment. It's just quicker for me when I'm doing a lot of paintings. Okay, let's pop that one away to dry, and we'll show you the dry results.